I'm Chrissy. I'm 37, and I have my husband Rick and my son Ben. He's 2. He's a toddler, and I'm a full-time working mom. I'm a medical speech
I had
pathologist in
always
acute
wanted to
care.
lose weight.
That was my
So,
primary focus. I can't say that it. Of course, I wanted to feel better, but my primary focus was on hating how I looked, feeling disgusted, and wanting to change it as fast and as quickly as I could. And all of the things that I did to try to change that never worked for me. So I remember when I found you, it was actually through your podcast. I remember thinking, and I think I even told you, like, please just turn off that part of my brain that's always thinking about food. You get hungry at least 3 times a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and every time you're in that mindset of thinking of, I hate my body, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. So it was just a mindset of, I need to change things, I don't know how, I better diet, but I can't be perfect, so how do I get there? And it didn't work for it. That was not working for me. It felt like I was probably the only one having that problem, because you see people doing these other programs and getting success and they're skinny, and you're like, I just can't do it because I'm not perfect. And I never questioned if the program fit my lifestyle or my needs. It was just like, here's a meal plan, here's a workout, come 5 days a week, no matter how hard it is, no matter if it's the right workout for you, no matter if it's the right meal plan, and just do it. And it wasn't matching the type of workout I like to do, my level of fitness. Um, it never included like that I might like to sometimes eat a brownie, or maybe I want to have pasta with my chicken, or it was just like, nope, cut it out, do these hard workouts, go do 20 burpees, come back tomorrow. Aren't you motivated? You're not? Okay, well, you just might not want it bad enough. That's what it always felt like, that mantra, like, if you want it bad enough, you're just going to do it. And I'm like, I want it, but I can't do it, so something's wrong with me. And I think that's how I felt a lot. Number one, simplified. It wasn't that I had to change every part of myself in my life. And you taught me that life's not perfect. That's why dieting doesn't work. I mean, under perfect conditions of never wanting to eat a cookie and always wanting to get up and do, potentially a really hard workout, yeah, you can lose weight, but you taught me it's my coping mechanism was eating. When things got hard, when life wasn't perfect, a week into your meal plan, I ate. And you sort of taught me that you have to learn how to deal with your crap in a way that's not dealing with it by soothing it with food. Because after you've eaten the food to deal with the problem's still there. So you taught me, as dumb as it sounds, at 37 years old, 36 at the time, um, to listen to my body, to listen to myself. And that is the thing that carried me into, you know, nailing and still doing imperfect eating, and then running and running 5Ks. It's because I listen to myself and what I want. And sometimes that's more sleep. Sometimes it's water. Sometimes it's a brownie. Sometimes it's a run. Sometimes it's salad. Um, that's the biggest thing, is I listen to myself. So my meal plan isn't what somebody else made for me. And my workout plan isn't what a DVD is telling me to do. It's mine. It's what works for me in my situation, even on the shitty days, even on the good days. Um, because I listen to me and what I need, not what somebody else tells me that they think I need. So that's the biggest part. That's what I want to like scream from the rooftops to people, is like, it's just such a freeing feeling. Like I won't go back to that old way, because you can't. After you know what your body needs and wants and how to meet it, you can't. It's just, this is my life now, and it's the best it's ever been. I think it was pretty soon into joining your imperfect eating group. It was around last August. And I remember sitting at the lunch table with my coworkers, and somebody bought like an oatmeal cream pie. And in the past, everybody was like, oh, I don't want any more. I don't want any more. And I would have felt either shameful because I had stopped eating, because I would have stopped eating it because I was worried about what other people thought of me, or I would have overeaten and maybe gotten another one for myself because I was on a sugar binge. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh, I've had enough. And then the next day we went out and we ordered food, and I got this like vegetable bowl. And I remember I had told you, like, I never would have ordered this in my life. And it was the most delicious thing I ever had. Like, eating out, it's a treat, right? So I'm just going to go for broke. I'm going to get a hamburger and french fries and a Coke and a milkshake and maybe a cookie on the way out. And those two situations, I was sitting there thinking, like, I never would have ordered this. And I like this. And I like how it makes me feel. And I can still eat the oatmeal cream pie and feel fine, but I can still eat the vegetables and not feel like I'm starving myself or restricting myself. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, this feels really good. Life changing. It felt so hard. Yeah, I think too, because you're approaching it when you're in a dieting mindset of a place of something's wrong with me, I have to change it, and if I can't change it, it further proves that negative cycle in your head of something's wrong with me, I can't change it. And your stance is very much like nothing's wrong with you, something's wrong with that system. Let's find out what works for you. And I learned how to deal with it's funny because I've had the most success um, since working with you during the absolute hardest year of my life. My son has a lot of things going on, and I can't even imagine where I would be today if I had still been using food to fix how I felt, like coming home and saying I deserve that brownie with the ice cream because my son's going through a lot of stuff, or I had a long day. And if I was still today in February using those same coping tactics during the hardest years, I can't even imagine mentally where I would be right now. And yet I'm a runner because of you. My husband has started running. He's 6 weeks in because of you. My family eats wonderfully healthy, but my son won't also grow up thinking of food as a reward. Like he's not going to get in the same patterns and mindsets that I had. Like we've broken that cycle. It's ended with us. He can have things, but food isn't because you're good or bad. Food just is food. So I have great coping mechanisms in place for the hard days and great for the days we want to celebrate. So um, we have pizza night once a week, usually the days I come home late from work, but we have a huge salad with it. So we're still having the same foods we did before, but I feel even better because I'm getting my vegetables with my pizza. I get up at 5 a.m. and I run before work because that's what makes me feel good. And I do that twice a week, every week. I've done it through winter, through 20-degree days outside. And I don't do it because I'm punishing myself. I do it because that's what I need as a mom and a wife and as Chrissy to feel mentally just like clear and like I can take on my day. So I don't eat out of shame. I don't have to restrict myself. Um, sometimes I eat and then I'm like, oh, I had too much pasta there because I want to go to bed and it's 6 o'clock at night. Or sometimes I'll have a piece of cake and I'm like, maybe I could have stopped 3 or 4 bites ago. Because nobody's perfect and we all are still learning about ourselves, but those things happen far and few in between. I don't refuse food because I feel like, oh, I'm too fat to eat it. And I don't eat a ton of food because I feel like I'm trying to soothe things or to cope with things anymore. So I'm a mentally and physically healthy person. Everybody that I see at work and outside is like, oh my gosh, you've lost so much weight. That's all they can see. What have you been doing? And it's very hard to explain, but I'm like, well, I'm not dieting and I eat imperfectly. Obviously, there's been a huge change in me mentally and physically. So everybody at work now notices like, oh, you've lost so much weight and everything. And it really, I'm down more than 2 pant sizes. I don't weigh myself, but it takes a while for other people to notice. I wear scrubs, they're baggy, nobody notices, and change happened a long time ago. And that's one of the things you instilled in us so early in the Imperfect Eating group was, yeah, your ultimate goal probably is weight loss. It's also to feel better. It's also to change your habits, how you deal with stuff. But that's going to take some time. Like you didn't promise, oh, you're going to be down 3 pant sizes in 21 days or in 30 days or anything. And so during those early days when you so desperately want to see a change and you feel like you've changed and you want other people to say like, oh, you look so good, you've lost so much weight, that's what got me through. Because at first that's your life raft, you know what I mean? And then I started I just stuck with it. I knew that's not the only thing that was I wanted to change. And you taught me that of course that's going to happen, but so much more and so much more has. Like, I get up at 5 a.m. to run before work. I use that as my coping strategy. for getting through the day, giving myself mommy time, not getting mom burnout, I eat listening to my body throughout the day. So that means I'm not like cranky because I'm hungry all the time. And it means I'm not having a sugar crash because I've binged on sugar. And I just, you also taught me that it goes so far beyond eating too, because I remember you saying things like, okay, say there's a problem in your life, say that you're having a problem with a coworker and you're like, X doesn't like me. You always said, okay, what proof do I have that that's happening? It can go, into any relationship that you have any problem. It's not just food, because we're more than just people that need to like eat and sleep and wake up in the morning. So it affects my interpersonal relationships. I'm not quick to have my feelings hurt or to be emotional because I've been taught, okay, listen to my body, validate what I'm feeling, and then look at the external and say, what proof do I have that's happening? What proof do I have that I'm fat and lazy? Well, no, I just don't want to do 10 burpees today. I'm not fat and lazy. So it gets into and permeates like every area of your life when you change how you view food and how you view yourself in relation to food and how you view yourself in relation to movement. It changes your entire life. And I now get it at 37. Like I now get it. So the running, I've done through 4 or 5Ks, and my goal is to do a 10K by the end of the year. So I'm working myself up to that, and they will just come when it comes, and I'll just do what I can. With eating, there's no really going back to that old way, because how can you stop listening to your body? You know what I mean? Like, once you have this relationship, how could you go back to that? I don't know how to do that. I don't know how now not to ask myself how I feel and to realize, you know, how things are making me feel. Like, oh, I overate brownies, I'm going to go do that again and make myself feel like crap again. Well, no, I realized that I just had a hard day at work and I just need to deal with that. It cascades down into my son and how he views food, and that he's not going to see food as reward or punishment in his life, and hopefully he'll pass that on to his family. Like, we've stopped that cycle completely with our family, and hopefully just being healthier overall. My family getting sick even less because we're not eating crap all the time. That's a big deal when you have a kid in daycare. You get sick all the time. Well, he's eating healthy things, I'm eating healthy things, our family's already always eating healthy things and putting healthy food on the table. So it's huge. It is. And how I view myself too, the capable person that I know I am. I know I can do hard things. And that doesn't mean doing hard things on day one. It means doing little baby steps to get to that hard thing along the way. I know how to handle that. And that's what my husband has said. He's 6 weeks into the running program and has had bad knees his whole life, has always said, like, I'm not going to be a runner. And that's it, is you break off little bites at a time. I did couch to 5Ks in the past, and I can't start on day one running for 3 minutes. That's why I failed. I'm like, I literally could not run for 3 minutes. As little as that sounds to not a runner, that's a lifetime to run. And you have such a good way of teaching people with food, with, goal setting, with movement, is, just go a little bit outside your comfort zone. And you're so good at teaching that and showing people how other systems that don't have you do that are flawed. It's not you. It's that you could never be expected on day one to do X, Y, or Z, but maybe you could just do this little bit. So that is really what changed it all and got me from never being a runner, always wanting to running 4 or 5Ks and wanting to do a 10K. And sticking with it through the coldest months in Pittsburgh, 20-degree mornings, I'm out there running, love it. I hate winter, I hate it. I've always said, why do I live here? And now I found out I love running in the winter. Never knew. It's because I went a little bit outside my comfort zone, with somebody that knew I could do it and had the faith in me and believed in me that I could do it, and then showed me how to do it, and I'm doing it. I just think that people need to know that, like, when you sign up with Jacqueline, you're not going to be paying money for other diet plans or anything like that. I mean, I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, I'm sure, on exercise programs, special shakes and things, and I didn't realize The problem is they didn't show me how to handle life when it's imperfect. They didn't show me how to handle days that I come home late and I don't have my, perfectly portioned meal plan on the table. They didn't show me how to handle the stress of being a mom and, getting very little sleep. They didn't show me how to handle just when the shit hits the fan. And, you do. And, you give people a very realistic and easy way to learn for the first time how to listen to their bodies, how to imperfectly eat, and how to do it in a way that they can continue to do it for the rest of their lives. And I keep telling you, I will shout from the rooftops that you're so near and dear to my heart, because you have absolutely, changed my life is an understatement, my family's life, my life. But the gift that you give people is worth $1 billion, honestly. So you're such a blessing. And I hope everybody hears this and everybody can give, working with you a chance. It just to change my life. And I'm so grateful.